It's no secret that the Marvel Rivals roster is a bit lacking in the evil department. Although villains like Gore the God Butcher and Doctor Doom are certainly coming to the game in the near future, sometimes you just can't wait. The dastardly Sinister Six are some of Spider-Man's greatest foes, and there is no one more deserving than the illustrious and mysterious Master of Illusions, Mysterio. Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and first appeared twice. Initially debuting as Mysterio in Amazing Spider-Man number 13 in 1964, Quentin Beck canonically first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man number 2, disguised as an alien creature while working with the Tinkerer. Born and raised in Riverside, California, young Quentin was obsessed with home movies and stop-motion special effects. After attending MIT and becoming an accomplished special effects expert and stuntman, Beck grew bored at the lack of recognition in his work and took to a life of crime, utilizing his skill set to become the costume supervillain known as Mysterio. After being defeated by Spider-Man and then by his old profession, Beck returned to New York City and villainy, only to be bested once again by Spidey. Shortly after that failure, Beck was approached by Dr. Otto Octavius to join the first ever incarnation of the Sinister Six. Compared to my previous videos, Mysterio is a pretty consistent member of the Six, appearing in 10 out of the 20 main universe teams. Even though his power set is incredibly unique within Spidey's rogues gallery, Beck is often defeated in humiliating fashion, leading to the man developing self-esteem issues and a poor criminal reputation. Regardless of his status among the scum of New York, Mysterio is still my personal favorite Spider-Man foe. So I do think he would be a great addition to both Marvel Rivals and this specific version of the Sinister Six. When creating Mysterio for Marvel Rivals, you want to lean into two things, both his trickery and mysterious nature. The community often likes to say that he would make a great pick for a strategist. One idea I have heard is that he could place decoys of himself around the map that both attack enemies and heal allies with a magical green energy blast. Maybe he could even make a zone where none of his allies are injured and instead of taking damage, they get healed, and no, that's Loki. Yep, that's definitely fully what Loki does. Well, I guess if we're gonna try to be different than Loki, maybe we could try out a different role. Maybe like a duelist. This design aims to separate him from the actually magical god of mischief, but there are still gonna be a few similarities. For example, the basic 6 meters a second movement speed and 250 health. Although, if I'm being honest, if he does prove to be a bit too squishy, I wouldn't be mad if you brought him up to that 275 range. Probably the most iconic and consistent feature of Mysterio and basically all of his adaptations is this swirling green mist. Typically used to project his 3D illusions, this noxious hallucinogen functions as his primary attack. Firing will emit a slowly roaming triangular zone of mist that deals damage over time at a similar rate to Wanda's Chaos Control. Additionally, whenever an enemy leaves the area, they receive a burst of damage that increases the longer that they were exposed to the gas. I think this gives Mysterio an incredibly unique primary fire, one focused primarily on displacement rather than just pure damage. As a failed Hollywood professional, Mysterio is no stranger to both practical and special effects. For his secondary attack, I wanted to make sure that Mysterio had at least some kind of ranged option. This attack launches the mist in a condensed form, but rather than being thrown in a particular direction, it will mysteriously arc towards the target of Mysterio's stunt double. And if you're asking me who is Mysterio's stunt double, it won't be very long until we uncover that mystery. Another one of his most common abilities that's definitely shown off a lot during Beck's battles with Spider-Man is his elusiveness and ability to turn invisible. Currently, in Marvel Rivals, only 4 characters can actually turn invisible: Black Cat, Psylocke, Loki, and obviously Invisible Woman. Both the duelists can only do so temporarily, and the strategists are provided healing over time, so there is a little bit of room for some originality here. In Staged Exit, Mysterio will release a puff of smoke before going permanently invisible. He doesn't receive any healing, but does get a benefit that I will describe a bit later. With the unique distinction as the only permanently invisible duelist, Staged Exit does have a longer 25 to maybe even 35 second cooldown. However, after you defeat an enemy using a mysterious ability, the cooldown of Staged Exit is reduced by 5 whole seconds. As discussed, Loki already has this doppelganger gimmick on lock, but that doesn't mean that there isn't room for a duelist equivalent. Although this robotic decoy operates a lot more like Magneto's enhanced resonance team-up, this mysterious stunt double lasts indefinitely, along with moving and attacking autonomously, although it does have two specific limitations. It can only attack the highest health enemy within its range, and it can only use Mysterio's primary fire. You'll notice that I said the decoy only attacks with its primary fire, and not specifically Noxious Hallucinogen. This is intentional, as Mysterio would be the only character in the game to completely replace his primary fire. Using Master of Mystery, rather than fully transform like Loki or only steal specific superpowers like Rogue, Mysterio will copy any non-melee attack and replace Noxious Hallucinogen, letting the gas linger for just a bit longer. Unlike Loki and Rogue's transformational attacks, this ability can actually target a character on either team, potentially letting you triple up on ricocheting Moonblades with your allied Moon Knight, or matching an enemy Jeff's Joyful Splash with two of your own. Since this ability does technically give Mysterio the potential to heal his allies, I hope it gives those strategist hopefuls a little bit of a boon and me a little bit of a pass for making him a duelist. Mysterio's passive is Confounding Presence. Rather than just tacking on a pretty basic movement boost to staged exit like the other invisibility skills, I wanted to continue to honor the elusiveness that Mysterio wields in battle. While not in view of an enemy, or while invisible, Mysterio gains a 33% movement boost. This puts him at 8 meters a second, the speed that you would see a Captain America moving while sprinting. Separating these effects makes his invisibility even more distinct and unique when compared to the other invisible cast members, so I wanted to make sure that this passive was pretty simple but still pretty effective. With all this talk of mischief, I'm sure it's expected, but the perfect pair of practical prestidigitators pop up the party with an impeccable pop. Ooh, I don't know why I wrote a tongue twister. Why did I do that to myself? Anyway, this loadout is a team-up between Loki and Mysterio. Although I've been making comparisons between the two this entire video, I want to clarify something. Mysterio doesn't actually do any magic. Usually. This team-up with Loki makes the stunt double even more of a carbon copy. When either become the target or gain benefits of an allied ability, so does the other. Target specifically means when an ally is selected by effects like Luna's Snowflake, Magneto's Bubble, or Mr. Fantastic's Flexible Elongation, improving both the double and Mysterio's overall survivability. The enhanced version of the effect even allows Mysterio to employ a second robotic decoy. Let me know if you get the reference in the name of this one, but Mysterio's next team-up is remarkably bright features. When Dr. Octopus originally formed the Sinister Six, his master plan was anything but effective. Rather than actually teaming up to fight the Wallcrawler, each villain would individually battle their foe in rapid succession. When Mysterio was up to bat after Spider-Man had already defeated both Electro and Kraven, he brought an entire team of robotic decoys of the original 5 X-Men, and was promptly defeated. After seeing all 5 members already fail in their fight against Spider-Man, Octavius decided that the best course of action would be to trap Spider-Man underneath an enormous fishbowl. Obviously, this did not work, but it makes for a pretty fun team-up. This ability allows Mysterio to drop an enormous fishbowl onto his enemies, trapping them inside and continually taunting them with his classic illusions. The enhanced version of the team-up grants any allies inside the bowl a continual source of bonus health, and improves the taunts that are already on the enemies, now showing them visions of the entire Sinister Six rather than just Mysterio himself. In my personal opinion, Mysterio works best as more of a mental threat to Spider-Man rather than a physical one. Now, don't get me wrong, Quentin Beck can fight, but he's no Green Goblin. So in honor of this, I think his ultimate ability should be something that provides a bit more utility than it does damage output. So how does one make this compromise? Hypnotic Enthrallment creates a large dome of green mist. Enemies inside are slowed and blinded upon entry. For as long as they remain inside the area, all characters will appear as Mysterio, allies included. Enabling friendly fire is the perfect encapsulation of both utility, damage, and complete and utter confusion, effectively making it the perfect tool for Mysterio to use. Just like the majority of Spidey's rogues gallery, Mysterio has been around for decades, so there's a lot of options for what you could do in terms of skins. I am a big fan of the old classical look, but I do actually really like the design that they used in the MCU. I'm good with pretty much any skin for Mysterio as long as we steer clear of that Ultimate Mysterio look. And I mean the old Ultimate Universe, not the new Ultimate Universe. That one looks actually really good, but the old Ultimate Universe. Anyway, the design that you've been looking at this entire video was drawn by Enzo Spagnuolo, who I will link in the description. I do really like this design. I'm a fan of the fishbowl being more obscured. I don't like when we see the skull, so I'm glad that this design does that. Also, the big purple cape. Oh, it's just beautiful, guys. Look at this thing. Overall, I am incredibly happy with this Mysterio design. Like I said, he is my personal favorite Spider-Man villain, so hopefully other Misty fans think I did him justice. I personally am very happy that the role that I came up with, focusing on this displacement and overall utility rather than just pure damage output, felt pretty satisfying to do, especially because he isn't someone in the comics who's just gonna go up and punch you. First, he's gonna make you walk through a house of mirrors, then he's gonna punch you. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this design down in the comments. Sound off about any thoughts and maybe even theories about who you think could fill out the rest of the Sinister Six. If you want to support me even more than just subscribing or liking the video, consider becoming a YouTube member. You become a part of this great group known as the Marvel Allies, and you get all these cool benefits that I'm showing on the screen right now, and even join these cool shoutouts at the end of the videos. With that, I'll see you guys on the next Sinister Saturday.